Hello, in this tutorial we're going to be focusing on scheduling raw data reports. And of course you can schedule your other report types as well, any report that you customize in our system. And we have other tutorials covering how to do that. But specifically in this tutorial we'll be talking about raw data. And here we are in the main console, and as you can see, by the way, this has been a white labeled account. We normally have our opinion meter orange up here on the header bar, but it's been changed to green. Just an example of how you can customize and white label the look and feel of your account as well as your device apps, which can also be white labeled. Just good to know. So I'm going to jump up to the Reports tab, and you'll see here in the sidebar to the left, just below scheduled reports, which is what I was referring to before, we have other tutorials on how to use this feature. But we're going to jump down into raw data. And you'll see here in the expanded view, we have create scheduled exports or view scheduled exports. And let me just click on this for a second and explain how this is organized. These are previously saved and created reports for raw data to be delivered automatically. So the raw data name is the name of the data file, the frequency, daily, weekly, monthly, the next scheduled date. So tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. this will be sent in an Excel format. We have a number of different options you can select for the data format when it's sent. The account that created this report, this scheduled report, and then this is an edit icon if you wanted to jump in and edit this report and when and how it's being delivered or delete it, or just toggle the status. If I clicked on this, it would toggle to stopped. So that's how this screen is organized. So why don't we jump into the scheduled exports and create one of these things. So here we are in a simple three-step wizard. Step 1 of 3 is to identify the survey parameters you wish to schedule for delivery. So we can select our account, and this happens to be just a single account, what we call a standard account, opposed to an enterprise account. An enterprise account can have unlimited sub-accounts or child accounts, tiered and stratified however you wish. So if this were an enterprise, we could select whatever sub-account we wanted to work within. And likewise, any account can have unlimited users, and each user has unique privileges. So if we wanted to select a specific user, we could do so here. And here is the survey type or modality that we can pick from, and I'm going to select the tablet for this demonstration and the survey itself. These are all the surveys created for tablet modalities in this account. So I'm going to go sample iPad survey. And now I can select all locations to be included in the raw data report that is scheduled, or I can individually pick different locations that I want to be included. As well, and this is a new feature we've recently added, you can filter by device. Let's say you want to select from all locations or a specific location, but only certain devices. And this would allow you to do that. I can check whichever devices. This is the serial number, the device type or modality, the location, and the model. Since we selected tablet, there are a number of different models. It could be an Android tablet, not necessarily just an iPad tablet. And here, why is this drop-down? Let's talk about this. This is a drop-down because there's multiple locations that were assigned to this device for this survey. Since that is an option we can do, we can have multiple locations assigned to a survey to a particular device. So we could specify using this drop-down. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this, but I'm going to keep things simple, and I'm just going to uncheck the filter by device and just use all locations. And the next choice we have is the format in which we want this report to be delivered in, and we have two options. We can go Excel or CSV, and I'm going to go ahead with a CSV. And now the export options here, we have 3. Do we want the completed surveys only to be delivered? Do we want only the incompleted surveys to be delivered, or do we want both, complete and incomplete? And you'll see n equals 3. It's a very small sample in this particular survey, only 3 completes, 1 incomplete for a total of 4. So I'm just going to leave it on the completed surveys that will be sent in this report. So I'm going to click Next. Now we're in step 2 of 3. Basically, who would you like to receive this scheduled raw data report? So we can put in unlimited number of email addresses separated by semicolons here, or you can pull from the address book that's part of our system. And if you have a number of email addresses, it might be easier to autofill from the address book. You can put in a blind carbon copy if you wish. You need to put in a subject for your email, and then in the body of the email, what text would you like to include? So text for the body of my email. For the body, if I could type, of my email. So I'm just leaving that as a simple email message. Sender's email address, by default, whoever is the account holder or owner, their email address appears here. This can be changed just by highlighting it and changing it in this field. So I'm going to click Next, and now we get to step 3 of 3 where things get a little bit more exciting. So this is where we indicate the frequency and time and also data range that we want to include in the report. So by default it comes to daily, but we can go weekly. Do we want it to happen on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, or even last day of the month or first day of the month? So let's leave it at daily in terms of frequency. Select your time zone. This is the localization, and you would select from this list, and you only need to do this once. The system will remember or retain your localized time once you've selected this. And we're in the Pacific time in California. So you'll see by default the time of day autofilled, and that's because it will read in the current time. And so it's 5:17 p.m. here in California. And I can, of course, change this to whatever I want. Let's say I want to send it at 7:17 p.m. This is a 24-hour clock. And now the data range is interesting. Now I can say, hey, I want this sent daily, and I only want to include today's data. Then I would leave it the way it is. But maybe I want to include the last 10 days of data. So I can reach back into the data set historically from the time of the trigger. So if this triggers tomorrow, it's only going to reach back 10 days from tomorrow. Or maybe I want to go and reach back 6 months. So this is an interesting option you have to choose from. And by default, it's today's date. Of course, you can change it manually or click on the calendar picker. And the name, your scheduled raw data, by default, it just inputs the survey name, but you can, of course, modify that there. And click Finish, and we're done. And you'll see the system brought us to the View Scheduled Exports screen by default here, and we already looked at this, but here's the name of our survey, which we used as the name of our report, the daily frequency, today's date. It's going to trigger in 2 hours. It's coming as a CSV file format, the account in which it was created, if I wanted to edit, and I can toggle, etc. So I've already sent this to myself, so why don't we just jump into here. Here's the email that came through. I'm going to download the file. So whoever is receiving these reports, this is how it would appear. I'm just going to open this up. It opens up as a CSV file. And as we said, we only included the 3 completes. And it's a very small sample size of 3. And the first header row is the individual question, the text of each question. And we have, 12 questions in the survey. Then we have a lot of the metadata here, date, the date the survey was taken, the time the survey was taken, even the longitude and latitude information, since the iPad has GPS chip in it, that's captured if the respondent opted into that option. Then the duration. How long did it take them to complete the survey? Who completed the survey, the name, the email address, and then we get into the survey ID, the device, serial number, location ID, and here's the status. Remember, we chose completed, so C is for complete. If we had also included incomplete surveys, there would be a mixture of I's in here indicating incomplete, so if you wanted to sort, you could. So that's just an explanation of how the CSV file format is organized. And coming back here to the Survey Manager, that really concludes what I wanted to discuss in terms of how to take advantage of this new raw data scheduling feature in the system. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.